What's up, guys? Business Weasel here. Now, it turns out that Cowboy Cerrone, back in UFC 246, he did not make pay-per-view money. And that itself is pretty shocking because it means that Donald Cerrone only made a disclosed flat $200,000 to fight Conor McGregor, which is the least any of Conor's opponents have made in so many years. I think since before Chad Mendes, right? Chad Mendes, I believe, made more than Donald Cerrone, and that was back in 2015. In featherweight, before Conor was this superstar. Every other opponent that Conor has ever fought has made at least $400,000 flat disclosed pay, and most of them have made pay-per-view money. And knowing that UFC 246 is probably Conor's second biggest pay-per-view event, or second or third most successful pay-per-view event, I don't think it's anybody's fault besides probably Cowboy Cerrone and his manager. I mean, to make only $200,000 fighting Conor McGregor and having $200,000 win bonus, that doesn't even compare to the opponents that Conor McGregor has beaten, right? Now, the thing about Cowboy is he is a company man. He fights anybody at any time, any place. Now, that can rack up a lot of wins and actually rack up a lot of money at the end of the day, but it doesn't show that he's business savvy when it comes to fighting. It looks like he just takes fights and doesn't really negotiate the pay too much. Yes, at the end of the day, that is the manager's job, and your job is just to go out there and fight. But Cerrone was saying even before the fight that he wasn't making as much money as people thought. It doesn't matter if you're fighting the superstar, you're not going to make that kind of money either way, which is actually debunked a bit looking at all of Conor's previous opponents. And it might have just looked like Cowboy didn't care too much about that side and just went on with his own argument the whole way through, and afterward stuck with the same thing. He said, I told you guys, we don't make the same kind of money for fighting the big money fight. But again, this is a bit debunked. Look at Nate Diaz for an example. Nate Diaz was making what, 20 and 20, $20,000 a show and $20,000 to win before he fought Conor McGregor. When he fought Conor McGregor, he made $500,000 flat pay. He negotiated, his manager probably negotiated that pay. So how does someone like Donald Cerrone make less than half of that money in this big money fight against Conor? And note that Conor's bigger now than he was when he fought Nate Diaz. How does Cerrone make that little compared to Nate Diaz when even before they fought Conor McGregor, Cerrone was still making around $200,000 in every single fight, while Nate Diaz was making about a tenth of what Cerrone was making previously? That in itself shows there was a lack of real, intelligent, or effective negotiation going on for Cowboy Cerrone. And the real sad part about this is that was Cowboy's biggest fight in his career, and it looks like he's pretty close to hanging it up. My prediction is probably in the next few years, 2-3 years, and he's probably done fighting. This was the fight of his career. This was the fight he wanted. This was the fight he lived up for. Big money fight on the grandest stage in front of all the casuals. And he had the opportunity to negotiate money. Not only is fighting Conor McGregor big, but it is also a big opportunity to negotiate real money for the rest of your career, right? Even in defeat, some of that money you negotiate for the Conor McGregor fight can trickle down, and you carry that on and build on top of that added on money for the rest of your career. But because he kept the same kind of money, estimated $200,000, he's probably going to make that same kind of money for the rest of his career in every single fight. But it seemed like a huge missed opportunity business-wise, and it looks like there's real no way to make that up. You know, when you go and be that kind of fighter that you just fight anybody any given night, any given time, really have no time to negotiate the next level of money, right? And you can be taken advantage of business-wise. It's very smart for the UFC, right? They're not going to try and eyeball Cerrone, of course. They're not going to just like, are you sure, man, you want to make more money? No, they're going to take his offer if it's still the same thing for years now. They're still going to keep that, right? It's just very smart to do. And people want to knock on guys like Ali Abdelaziz. They go after him for all kinds of things, but nobody could deny that guy. Ali is probably the best manager in the sport. All of his fighters make money. He has so many fighters under his banner, more fighters than anybody else if I'm not wrong, and he always knows how to negotiate his money. Yes, people say he's like a sleazeball and all this kind of stuff, but some managers actually have to have that kind of quality to them to be a great manager, right? Cerrone at the end of the day got lowballed a bit, intelligently so, maybe even rightfully so, if he didn't bring that kind of fight to the negotiation table. It was not just a clear win for Conor McGregor, it was a clear win at the negotiation table for the UFC, and at the end of the day, all Cerrone really got out of this wasn't even a red penny night. He got the same kind of money, $200,000, and on top of that, got a whooping from Conor McGregor in front of all the casual fans. And now the casual fans look at Cowboy Cerrone as nothing special, and that's most of the audience of MMA. And that's another really sad part of all of this. And I really hope Cerrone can work out something so he can make more money into the sport, because he's a legend. He deserves more money, especially from that fight. I don't even think Cerrone should have made less than $1 million flat pay in that fight, especially knowing the kind of money he's already making. If Nate Diaz can increase his money 20-fold for the Conor McGregor fight, why can't Cerrone do something similar as well, even 5 times? Multiply your money 5 times for the Conor McGregor fight. That still makes you $1 million. And we were all hoping Cerrone made that kind of money for that fight. And people are still gonna say that Cerrone threw this fight. Crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe. And again, I'll see you guys in the next video.